This video covers elementary terrain park ski instruction. There are three phases: ground maneuvers, over a box, and jumping. Here's the Smart Style freestyle signs. XS is extra small. It's the type of feature we want. And then the Smart Plan. Start small, make a plan, always look, respect, and take it easy. And here's our terrain park. For the beginning lesson, we see the entry, we see a dance floor, a box, and a roller. Now for the snow surface maneuvers. The first one would be the switch wedge. And it is shown here in the next photo. Make sure the student is looking in the direction of travel. And this is the switch wedge, an elementary maneuver. The next one would be the switch parallel Christie. And we see here the skier with the skis parallel looking in the direction of travel. And we see the instructor performing the switch parallel Christie. Next thing is the surface 360s. Your students will be facing downhill and then start to turn uphill and essentially overturn, and then flatten the skis at the top, and then push forward and spin around for the 360. This is a valuable maneuver in more advanced terrain park features. And now the 50-50 over a dance floor. 50-50 means straight over. It comes from skateboarding. Half the wheels are on one side and half the wheels are the other. That means just straight over the rail. In this case, we take the students over the plastic to give them a feel for riding or skiing on plastic. It allays some of the fears they have initially for going over a feature. This is a small dance floor, and we can see the students are getting a feel for the friction on it. You can throw some snow on it if it's a little sticky. And it helps out immensely for their first run over the feature. Next, ATML, approach, takeoff, maneuver, landing. These are the essences of terrain park freestyle. Approach, takeoff, maneuver, landing. Approach, the takeoff, maneuver over the box, and landing. Here we see approach, takeoff, maneuver, and landing. And these students are getting used to the dance floor, riding or skiing on plastic. And here's a frontal view. You can see the students riding on the plastic surface. They're doing very well. Next thing is 50-50 over an airframe box. That's a ride-on, ride-off. This is rather narrow, so the skis have to be parallel. And we can see the students successfully completing that. Use a wedge to adjust your speed prior to the entry. Approach, takeoff, maneuver, and landing. Here's 50-50 over a ride-on gap-off box. That means there's a jump at the end of the box, ride on, and off we go. Here we go on a tabletop, and we're riding off on the end. And we have approach, takeoff, maneuver, and landing. Approach, takeoff, maneuver, and landing. 50-50 over a gap-on, gap-off box. This is a bigger gap. We can see the instructor approaching, approach, take off, onto the ramp, and landing. The ramp is got a gap. Make sure your skiers are going fast enough so they don't fall in the gap. Board slide or crooked grind over a box. That's next. Here's a board slide. The skis are perpendicular to the direction of travel and then brought back. Here we go. That's sort of a crooked grind. Crooked grind means it's not quite 90 degrees, but that's fine. Here's another crooked grind. It still works out good. Here we have crooked grind over the tabletop, and then out we go. Approach, takeoff, maneuver, and the landing. And finally, beginning jumping over a roller. And we see the instructor going over very gently. It's mostly to get a feeling for the upslope. Push down on top. Don't throw your hands or body up. Push down to get the air. Very important. Project forward slightly. Here's some additional information from various articles and links on the website about each particular maneuver to go into a lot of detail. This has also been published in Central Line magazine. So you go to back issues online and you can find some of these articles that go over jumping, over boxes, and then over surface maneuvers. And here's our group at the end. They had a great time. They're all pretty happy for being in the terrain park.